Ready? All right. We're called to order the November 2023 meeting of the Upson County Planning Commission. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Commissioner Pitts.
Yes, sir.
Chair McKinley.
Yes.
Commissioner Hilton.
Here.
Vice Chair Dawson.
Here.
Commissioner Murphy. You have quorum, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Item 2 is the adoption of meeting minutes for September. We will get those under separate cover. Item 3, old business. There is none. Item 4, new business. Got this. Awesome. Subdivision review and variance. SUB 2023-01, Paradise Meadows, 731.746 acres, 16 lots, Old Growth Timber LLC. Everybody has what you got in your packet, plus the one additional that was delivered here, or had left for us. Okay. So the way we will do this is we will open the public hearing, or not open the public hearing, we'll give you the opportunity to present your part. And I believe, David, are you presenting too, or just?
Dave.
Okay, both of you, okay, that's fine. So if you are ready, then if you would just come to that mark right there, say your name and address for us. And
David Aldridge, 1443 Cumberland Drive, Gainesville, Georgia, 30501. Thank y'all for letting me come this evening. Thank you for being here. And I'm here to ask for your support in what I'm doing. And I just want to spend a couple of minutes going over what I'm doing so that you have a full understanding of what's going on in Yatesville with this subject property, which is 732 acres, lying on both sides of Edwards Road. And the reason I am here is because there is a portion, 6.5% of this property, which is actually located in the city limits of Yatesville. If this property was just located in the county alone, then when I submit my plat to Mr. Currier, he would have reviewed the plat and he would have sent me the changes that were sent to me on Friday to make to that plat. And after that, I would have resubmitted that plat to Mr. Currier for his signature so that the plat could be put on record. Now, what I would like to do, Mr. Currier, I'll give you a copy of this. I just want y'all to look at this packet right here that I'm handing out. Got one more, sir.
there you go.
There are 3 items with this little packet here.
I handed him mine.
Okay, there are 3 items with this packet. The first one being a letter from the mayor of Yatesville, who is giving his support for this project from the mayor and the city council. This letter is dated back in September 23rd, so it's been a while since I've been over there to see what we were, to show him what we were doing. Now, if you look at the 2 plats, the subdivision plat I turned into Mr. Currier is difficult to look at because they have a requirement of a certain size, scale that plat's got to be on. Unfortunately, when you have a plat that's 732 acres, the plat can't all be put on 1 page, 2 pages, or 3 pages. So there's several lots in there that you have half the lot on 1 page and half the lot on another page. So it's very confusing and hard to read. But this plat right here, I gave you a copy, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay. This plat right here shows you the actual layout. And the dark areas where you see the trees, there's some green in there, there's 3 ponds on the property. They're not ponds, they're lakes. There's a 15-acre lake and 2 7-acre lakes. The other map that you got in front of you will help you see what portion of this property is located in the city limits of Yatesville. So to give you a quick history, I acquired this property. When I acquired this property, the reason I purchased this property is I wanted to keep half the property for myself. I've got some cattle land already, pasture land. I've been looking for more land to put cows on. So the reason I purchased this property was to own some of this property myself and to sell off the other portion of the property. So the game plan was I'd love to keep half the property and sell off half the property. That's still the plan. There's nothing has changed there. I have not put this property on the market until about 10 days ago. The only thing I have marketed out there is a 77-acre tract, which is on your plat right there. You see it right there as parcel number 11. It's got a house on it. That's the only property that's ever been put on the market out there, okay? And it was just put on the market about 10 days ago. Other than that property, I have not had anything out there, but people have been coming to me wanting to buy property. My goal on this thing was to divide this property just as you see in accordance to the subdivision regulation and find a couple, 2 or 3 buyers that would be willing to buy multiple parcels. And then I would keep my multiple parcels, which are up front being parcel 1, 15, 16, and 14. 14, 15, 16, and 1. Got one last plat to show you. I just don't want to confuse you quite yet. So, anyway, not to get into too much detail, the people that came to me, I found 2 people with just what I was looking for, and that is people that wanted to buy large parcels, but still have an opportunity for their family in the future to be able to put a house on 2 or 3 of the lots, other than the lot that they're going to build on. So I'm in the real estate business, I'm in the land business, and this world has changed. And what you see, it's a much more dangerous world than it used to be. There are a lot of people out there that are looking to buy acreage tracts that their family, they want their children to come back home and live on the land with them. Live on the land, have horses, have cows, and it's a trend going on. And when you take an opportunity like this, when you can get a plat approved, it makes sense to go ahead and add a few extra lots to it. The other reason, I'm getting older, and this is something I want to keep, and it is a situation where I'm going to leave this to my grandkids. And I want my grandkids, this grandkid has this one. Here's the deal. If you got 8 kids, grandkids, you can't just leave them a piece of property and have everybody agree. One's going to say, well, it's worth this. The other one's going to say, it's worth this. One's going to say, I don't want to sell. This one's going to say, I do want to sell. It's complicated. So you leave your kids certain properties as opposed to leave them everything where they can't just sit, fight, and argue over it. So the idea here too is you've got 16 lots sitting on 732 acres, which isn't very many lots. The average lot size is pretty large out there. So anyway, I have got 2 contracts that have been waiting to close this property. And One of them is buying lots 2 through 6, which is 242 acres, bordering me. That's just what I want. He's got 60 horses already out there on the property right now. We've got other horses out there. I've got some cows out there. I'm looking at getting more cows out there. What I'm trying to paint here is a picture that this property really isn't changing much. You got 732 acres and you got four to maybe 5 owners altogether on 732 acres. It's pretty awesome. You know, one day, 10 years from now, when those kids come back home and they're ready to build too, well, the grandparents, they've got it already lotted out, the plat's on record. I come see Mr. Curry, or somebody comes see Mr. Curry 10 years from now, and they want to subdivide this property, it might not meet the regulations. You might have to have 1,000 feet of road frontage. You might have to have this, this, and this. That's the way the government works. I mean, yeah, regulation. You go over to Morgan County right now, and it's just a prime example. Yeah, there's some cattle farmers over there who work their whole life, and they've got 1,000 acres, and now they're ready to sell it. They can't sell it because nobody can come in there and subdivide off the county road. You've got to build an interior road to divide your property. You're going to divide it in more than 4 parcels. And that's just how fast things can catch up. Well, you say, well, that can never happen in Upson County. Well, that's the way Morgan County was 20 years ago. It's just like this. You just record your plat. Things change, it gets tougher, and the more regulations. Some of these counties, they'll adopt 350, 375-page subdivision ordinance, and the county commissioners, most of them don't even know what half of it means. But it's just what takes place. So that's the reason for the 16 lots. Even though 16 lots is not very many lots on 732 acres, I still want y'all to know what I'm doing with the property. I just want you to know what's happening. The other fella is buying parcels 7, 8, 9, and 10. He's in the horse business. He just wants horses out there. Same with him. He loves the idea of my kids being able to take lot 8 or lot 9. What does he have to do 10 years, 5 years from now for his kid to come home and finally build next to his parents? Not a whole lot. Plat's already done. It's on record. They won't have to end up in a room like this trying to get it approved. So it's just forward thinking is all we're trying to do here. Just a little bit of forward thinking. And again, this is what I'm looking at is what I want to see happen out there. Is property's going to stay the same. I've made a lot of improvements out there. I'm out there just about every day. And I'm up front on this 231-acre tract. And on that 231-acre tract, you got 6.5 acres inside the city. And I'm walking back and forth. I'm going to see the cows. I'm over here on this side. The thoughts never entered my mind, well, am I in the county or am I in the city? It's a farm. It's a 231-acre farm right there. It's just, no one's thinking that there's an imaginary line here and I'm in the city and I'm in the county. The only reason that thing was put together like that in the first place, so that a property owner that used to own this tract could have city water brought down to the buildings. It's a beautiful barn out there. Look, if you ever got some time, you live right here, please, if you've never been out there, please drive out there. I've been involved in a lot of real estate, and I will tell you, that is one of the prettiest tracts of land. That's the prettiest cattle farm, horse farm that you'll ever find in middle Georgia. It's drop dead gorgeous. Go back down this road just a little farther where this property ends. You've got 2,000 acres there. There's one family that owns 1,000 acres. There's another, Benji Griffith from Macon owns another 1,000 acres. I'm out there so much that when a car rides down that road, I'm doing a double take. Now, who is that? It's a county road. They can ride down any road they want to. But the thoughts in my mind, because I never seen anybody ride down it, what are they doing out here on my road? You know, it's just the mentality. There's nobody driving down it. Now, in the afternoons, late afternoons, these people from Yatesville, they love riding down there in the golf carts, which is great. It's great to see the golf carts coming down there. They're there to see these deer. Just monster deer, just beautiful deer, a lot of big bucks. and they're just there to enjoy it. The lakes, I've already had someone come in and shock the ponds, already got the system going. I want trophy bass for my grandkids out there. Looking forward to fishing. I mean, there's bass in it, but it hadn't been managed. So I'm basically taking over where the last owner was, and I'm doing the same thing, but just a little bit different form. But let me show you one plat. Look, this plat really doesn't matter because we're looking at approving the 16 lots. Well, look at the snapshot picture of what this thing looks like right now. Got a guy ready to buy the 221 acres. With your support tonight, with your support in helping me with this, I have got right here, got right here the revised copies of what Mr. Currier has requested that I hope he'll take home with him. If he can't take it home, then I'll give it to Mr. Dunaway to hand off to him in the morning. That way it's in his office. But with your support, that's what it's going to look like. I mean, there are going to be 3 or 4 of us out there. I mean, that was my goal. And I didn't have to go track these people down and put this property. You won't find where this has been advertised. I've never advertised it. They came to me, and it's a godsend. Again, the only thing I've got left, and I've got somebody ready to buy it, is the house and the 77 acres. Last plat I'm going to show you, I'm just going to stand here and just open it up for you, just so you can see. What you see right here on this plat, these are the changes that Mr. Currier has requested be made on the plat. There are about 6 changes, minor changes. He calls them modification to the plat. These are the modifications. Every page I've got a marked red line highlighted, also in yellow. Hopefully to make it, this is a busy man right here. He's got a lot on his plate. I know he's got a lot on his plate. I want to just try to stay ahead of the game, make this just a little easier for him to see it when he has time to review it. And maybe it'll take a little bit less time if all he's got to do is just review this and just see that this is all he requested. And I'm hoping that with your support tonight, that if we get past that support, that I can get Mr. Currier to look at this plat, possibly tomorrow, so that these folks who've been waiting to close can go ahead and close, and we can move forward. I'm open for any questions from y'all to me on what's going on out there. The last one thing I almost forgot this, and Mr. Currier has brought this up also in his pamphlet. The restrictive covenants I have are deed restrictions, 1,800 square foot minimum, no mobile homes allowed. That's it. It's in the deed, it's not in the plat, but the people that have purchased, the guy on the 242 acres doesn't know if he'll ever build out there. But he is going to build a nice barn. But if you guys just sometime just come out there, and it is such a peaceful look to see all these horses, especially in the morning when the fog's there and you can see the pond. To see these animals running around, there's absolutely no noise. You don't hear Highway 87 over there. It's a heaven on earth is what it is. And the agricultural end of this thing isn't changing. It's just beginning. And we're talking about more permanent foundation with what we've got. But any questions, I'd be glad to answer for y'all.
How long have you owned these lots?
Well, I know right now it's just 232 acres, but I've only owned it since third week in August, maybe. So I mean, I just purchased this property.
So the part located in the city, how long have you owned it?
The whole 732 acres is all one parcel that I purchased at the same time.
How long have you been in real estate?
43 years.
Did it never occur to you to check to see if any of that was in the city?
There was no way for me to tell that that property, there was nothing in the chain of title that would have told you that property was in the city right there. There's nothing in the chain of title.
So would we have to do anything with the city of Yatesville? to-
Well, you've already got the letter
I mean,
from
we
the
got
mayor,
the
but
letter,
in terms
but-
of your vote, one of the
Formally
very
would
first
we-
comments is a variance. So you'll have to consider whether, basically he's asking for a variance, the subdivision ordinance, and you have to decide whether you're granting that or not granting it.
But nothing formally would have to be done with the city of Yatesville, is what I'm saying. Any other questions?
No, I have
No. Jeff,
No,
any more? All right, I think we're okay. So we will move to the public hearing. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Make a motion.
Second. Okay. All in favor? Okay. David, were you going to speak? Or just making sure that I don't have anybody else. Do you want to speak?
Sure.
Okay, I need you to come sign this for me. Put your address on there, phone number.
Address too?
Yep. All right, and if you will just stand right there at the, do you want to get Doug back that for me?
Stand up here so I can see.
Okay, please state your name and address for us, just for the record.
Kevin Brown, 591 Logtown Road, Yatesville, Georgia.
Okay. All right, Mr. Brown?
I just wanted to stop in and address the board because I am the adjacent landowner. And I'm glad that he is moving in the area, and I'm glad that it's kind of subdividing out, because anybody who's had to wrestle with 45 acres knows it'll darn near kill you just to try to maintain that little bit of the land, So when he purchases 700 some acres, I'm glad that he's bringing other entities into the city of Yatesville, because one, we could use the money, and we need the different personalities in there anyhow, because we're about tired of talking to the same old people all the time, and hopefully somebody will come out here and build a house eventually, and have some more grandkids in the area, and I personally would like to, expand some of the properties open, not 2 acre pieces, and that was one of my main concerns of what really was gonna happen with the property, but selling off these mini farms or ranchettes, what do you wanna call them? It's a great idea, and it's, right in line with what Upson County's been doing all along. So as the adjacent landowner, I think it's a great idea to come down and break up some of the land, but to have a developer, which everybody's big worry was, is he was gonna come in and develop 2.5 acre tracts, and we're gonna have 250 homes out there, and people run around losing their minds, But this is the way it should be. It should be broke down into parcels like that, and have more people out there that can bring their money in and have good, a good tax base, and, pay their shares, and it's good to have some new neighbors, But eventually, I would like to split up some property out that way as well, just because I'm getting old and fat, and I need to, I need to be able to retire one day myself, and just 700 acres is just too much property for one person, I know. And it's just a good thing that we're gonna have some new people in the area, and I'm just glad that this is going on right around the back door. I wouldn't be, I would be on the other side of the fence if there was 2 acre parcels coming up and somebody selling, a whole subdivision, but that's not what this is about. This is about somebody's bringing in new farmers and ranchers and new money, and that's the big thing out that way, So I'm certain it's good for the county, and it's good for the citizens of Yatesville if they would just take the time and sit back and breathe and just accept it for what it really is. That's pretty much all I wanted to come up with.
Okay.
I have a question, Mr.
Sure.
Brown. Where have you been for the last 25 years?
I've been right here.
I think the last time I saw you was 25 years ago.
We were wrestling around for one of these chairs up here about that time.
Probably so,
Yeah.
yeah. Good to see you again.
I might need to get up here one day, but I don't think so. Yeah, that was my opinion about the area, and I'm glad that this is gonna go through hopefully, and it won't miss a beat.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Good meeting.
All right. In that case, we have nobody else signed up to speak. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Can we get your report? Sorry.
Absolutely, Madam Chair. First question I'm going to have to ask is of the applicant before I go on the presentation. I'm confused by this because this doesn't look like the plat that you were handed before, so what does this mean?
Let me just say that again. I made the comment when I handed this one out. When I started saying this guy's buying 5 lots, well, there they are. When I said this guy's buying 4 lots, well, there they are. So basically, I'm just trying to show, all right, well, all of a sudden, there are not 16 people out here. There's about 3 of us, 3 or 4 of us. So I know this is confusing, and it has nothing to do with what we're trying to get approved tonight.
You're just
But-
showing proposed ownership of what's.
It's not really
But it's gonna
16
be
people,
because
it's
of the
really 6.
multiple lots,
Yeah.
because of the two sales, that's it, just 2 sales, 9 lots. You got 16 lots? 9 are gone from 2 sales. And then the last one to be gone is a 77-acre parcel with a red brick house on it, plenty of pasture, couple of wells. So it's just, sorry for the confusion.
All right, so what we're seeing is that ownership as he knows it now, this is what it looks like, but the parcels will still be the same as the plat that was reviewed by staff. Okay. This is the entranceway to the farm, and you'll see where the sign was posted for the public. Now, this is the aerial off the tax assessor's website, so you'll see the entire ranch outlined there, obviously before any lines or divisions come in. And then this was the graphic that you were given in your packet as well as tonight to show those divisions, the various 16 lots, or in this case, they're called farms. And then this is a lot more confusing. You've got this on a larger scale, and it's difficult to tell from the lines, but this is where the rubber hits the road. This is the plat, and as you know, there are several sheets behind it which focus in, but the ordinance requires this there be an overall sheet because the individuals give detailed information. This gives you the big picture and different areas to look at, but also gives the reviewer information they need as well as the sheets that are behind this master panel. And then, as Mr. Aldridge pointed out, this is the reason why we're here, is you'll see this larger parcel. Let's see if we can get the mouse to show it. There we go. This larger parcel is the one that is fully inside the incorporated limits of the city. And let's see, the best you can, and you could probably see this on the ones you got in front. This is the line here. It's a dashed line on your plat. It is the city limits. It then comes down across here. And the words actually say city limits. And then it comes up at a diagonal here. So you've got this lot wholly within the city limits. You've got this one 90% other than this little corner over here. And then you've got this lot over here, which is, at least in terms of the plat, approximately half in the city, half in the county. So, and this is referenced in the report, and I'll get to it specifically with the actual words in the review. That's why we're here. That's contrary to your ordinance. You've seen a plat like this before where the lots are part in the city and part in the county. Technically, that's in violation of the subdivision law. All right, now going through the full review, and this is where we start with this particular issue. If you're going to grant this plat as presented to you, there is allowance within the subdivision ordinance for variances. In this case, this is the violation where lots in the subdivision shall not be divided by city or county boundaries. The applicant has proposed a plat where lots 14 and 16 are partially in unincorporated Upson County and partially within the city of Yates. And so we're going to ask basically for 3 votes tonight. The first vote will be on the variance. Technically, when we bring this before you, you approve or deny the name of the subdivision. And then the third one will be all the requirements that's in the staff report. You'll either say, yes, you've got to do all those to fulfill the requirements, or if you want to, take some of them out and say you don't have to fulfill those that the staff was called for. All right, so, and you'll see numerically in your report there, the italicized lines are where I asked for some changes in the plat. In this case, and a lot of this is just technical stuff that it really doesn't change the substance of the subdivision. These are just technical requirements that, as the reviewer, these are required by the subdivision ordinance. I just want the maximum clarity possible in the subdivision plats. So number 2, there's a plat preparation date table where every time, number 1, you have the date that it was actually prepared. Then there's a few lines for modifications of the plat. Those are required to be in a couple of sheets they're missing from. We have to, number 3, identify zoning that surrounds the property. Well, some of this property is next to Monroe County, and we've not been told what the zoning is in Monroe County. The plat incorrectly identifies that basically the zoning in the city is the same as in the county. Well, there is no zoning in the city, so the setbacks don't matter, and the AR is inaccurate and doesn't matter anyway. So for those lots, for that one lot or partial lots that are in the city, there are no rules. So we will not be reviewing any thing against at least your zoning regulations. Now, we do look at building permits by an agreement we have with the city, but they don't have to meet any of the zoning requirements of the county because they don't have their own zoning requirements. And that's where these setbacks, so you see in the plat, they show the county setbacks on the city property, and that's not accurate. And then on sheet 4, to me, it could be not quite as understood as possible where the city limits are, so I asked them to label that city limit line one more time on the south side of the property. There are sheets where the name of the road's not identified. I've asked them to do that. They were back to the setbacks in point number 7 there, and 8. The numbers of the lots sort of disappear. I think, and I don't know how the software works for the architect, but I think what they do is they sort of zoom in and they print that out. And well, the trouble is some of the detail that you're supposed to have each individual plat sort of gets pushed out. And I suspect that's what happened in some of these. So the lot numbers disappear. Now, according, and you heard this referenced earlier, we are required to be provided any covenants that are going to be recorded with the plat. In this case, if there's only one, it's in the deed, not recorded with a plat. I suppose technically that's a little different. You've been verbally told what the one will be in there. Now, just in case you don't know this, whether it's independently or a separate covenant or it's a deed restriction, the cities and counties of Georgia do not enforce those. Those are private contracts. So that's basically up to a homeowners association or the neighbors just to enforce whatever happens. If somebody comes in for something that violates those covenants and it's legal by the county regulations, we'll issue a permit because we don't have any way and we do not legally enforce those private covenants. This will be your second vote. The proposed name is Paradise Meadows, and by the subdivision ordinances, this is not fully administratively approved. I'll ask you tonight to vote approve or deny on the name of the subdivision. I think you know that with new comp plan, you're going to hear more and more about it. I think that most of the policies that you see in the comp plan and the general description, because this is not a rezoning, so it's a little different animal with a subdivision. They're not asking for rezonings or special exceptions. This is just dividing up the property under the same zoning they have. So you'll see reference to the character area, which in this area of the county is active agriculture. And of course, Yatesville is part of this plan. It's identified as agriculture, and they're part of the plan. I don't see anything in the proposal that would run contrary to that. And then you'll see the goals and strategies that I felt out of the plan were applicable, and so you'll see those listed there. Again, because this is not a rezoning, it's not a special exception, you're less likely to run into this. Now, we talked earlier about if these were smaller lots, you might interpret smaller lots to be contrary to maintaining the agricultural integrity of the area and the small town feel, in this case of Yatesville, but you don't see that. These are relatively large parcels compared to what they could be with the AR zoning. And then this is just a reference back to the specific variance that you asked about. This is the provision where it says lots in the subdivision shall not be divided by city or county boundary lines. So that would be the first vote, again, the variance. Number 2, your vote would be on the name of the subdivision. And 3, requesting or requiring that all these stipulations, these changes, corrections, whatever you want to call them, are to be done. And then staff would, as long as all of those changes are met, staff looks at them and signs off and can sign the plat. And that concludes my staff report, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions on? Jeff?
I have no questions.
Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go one by one here, if that's the case. Do I have a motion for item 1, the variance, that involves lots 1, 14, 15, 16, where the city of Yatesville boundary intersects that. Do I have a motion to accept that variance?
I'll make a motion to accept that variance.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And that's unanimous?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 2 is for the subdivision name, Paradise Meadows. Do I have a motion to accept that as the name?
I make a motion we accept the name of Paradise Meadows.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Item number 3. I'm going to summarize this, but I'm going to refer to your staff report. For the revisions that have been outlined in the staff report that Mr. Courier has asked for, do I have a motion to approve those as stated, with the changes coming back to him for his approval? Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Thank you.
Yes. So I think we covered what you needed, correct? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, tomorrow is subdivision day, we got you and somebody else.
Okay, I'm gonna hold this, just when you're looking at it, I've already marked it up, so hopefully it'll make it easier for you to find.
Thank you very much.
We gotta keep moving.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Keep him on his toes.
Yeah.
See you, Dave.
He's pretty busy.
I really did. I missed you. I was afraid you wasn't coming. Coon days. That's right. Good to see you. You used to go to Westwood with the children. Yeah. Let it roll. Yeah, everybody's gone now. That's right.
How you doing, John?
All right, been a minute.
It has been.
Mr. Hilton.
I don't think you played last time I saw you.
Al says this is in the city limits. There's just nothing, no chain of title. I mean, I got title insurance, I got everything, there's nothing.
Is that right?
It says it's in,
That's one of the things that fell through the cracks a long time ago, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your courtesy.
Thank
I'm glad I
you.
got
That's
to see
right.
you.
Thank y'all
Thank you,
very
Dave.
much.
All right, item 5, other business, there is none. Item 6, planning commissioner issues and announcements. Do you have any from anyone?
I don't.
Okay. Item 7, secretary's issues and announcements.
Just a few updates. Tomorrow night would have been the hearing for Mr. Clave for the Board of Commissioners, but he chose to withdraw his special exception application for the 5 lots for the RVs. Just the negative feedback he was getting was a little bit too much for him. He decided
Out
to
on Pickard?
withdraw.
Pickard Road?
Yeah, Pickard Road.
Pickard Road.
Right. In terms of the Quiller special exception and the Crook rezoning, both of those were approved. There was some changes to some of the, or not included some of the conditions, but basically Quiller and Crook got approved. And that's the end of my announcements, Madam Chair.
All right. Item 8, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you very much.
We are adjourned. That's the first time I've seen that.